Hey everybody. So we're going to be continuing on our 1-point perspective cityscape project. And we're going to be using the same drawing that we started last week with our buildings, our 5 buildings, where I showed you how to draw a road, a sidewalk, buildings, as well as adding doors and windows. So today's task is to add additional elements to our drawing to enhance the look of depth within our picture. That's depth, D-E-P-T-H. And perspective always uses depth, and depth is how you have the appearance of things that are near or far in your artwork. So things look closer to you or things look farther away from you in the picture. And we're going to be using some smaller details to enhance that. So we kind of already have it already with our buildings getting smaller as they go farther back. But we're just going to add some additional elements to make that look even better so our picture doesn't look so boring. So what I'm asking you to do is to have a few requirements to make sure your picture is successful, and to show me that you also understand how depth works in perspective. So you can have a picture with depth and have it not be in perspective. So depth means things can overlap and can be smaller if they're farther away, or like they're closer up. They're larger up front and smaller in the back, and there's overlapping. But you cannot have just perspective. So they do work together. So one of the requirements I have for your project is to have a tree or a lamppost. And I'll show you how to add some of those into your picture. And I also ask that you draw an object that repeats 3 times to show depth. So that means you have a small, a medium, and a large version of that object. And a suggestion would be to do a tree or a lamppost and get 2 of those requirements done in one. You can also add things like mailboxes or bushes or gardens. You can add sidewalks or paths that connect your buildings to the other sidewalk. All kinds of things to meet that requirement. And then you're also welcome to add additional details. So if you have shop signs, if you're doing a shopping mall, or you have some businesses on the first floor and apartments on the other, on the top, what other kind of details can you show me to bring your picture together? So you need 2 or more of those, and you're welcome to add as much as you like. You can add things in the background behind your buildings. And then the last thing is not to forget to have something in your sky. So show us what time of day it is, whether the moon is out or the sun is out or the sun's setting. If there's anything else in the sky, like stars or airplanes or helicopters, whatever you would like to add. This is the point where you can kind of get creative with your picture and add some fun things to it. So the first thing I'm going to add in mine, and you don't have to do this to yours, this is basically just kind of showing you some different options. So one of the things I'm going to add is a sidewalk that connects my front door to the other sidewalk in the street. So this is actually going to be horizontal versus it going to the vanishing point. So I'm just going to draw 2 horizontal parallel lines that kind of go close to the base of my front door. And they just go across and connect to the other sidewalk. So I'll need these lines as well. So this is the path that would go to my vanishing point. So if I wanted to draw those additional lines, I would just turn my ruler as if it's on a hinge connected to my vanishing point. And then there's my path. I'm going to do the same thing to the one back here, just so it doesn't feel alone. You can actually just line it up with the lines you already have, just making it easier. So now I have a couple of sidewalks that added to my building, my picture. And like I said earlier, one of the requirements is to draw a tree or lamppost. I've added to the assignment some examples of different lampposts or trees or mailboxes that you can add to your picture if you'd like. So just remember that anything that is standing vertically in real life, like a tree or a pole, that will also stand vertically in your picture. So if it's leaning over, that means it's falling down. So if you want it to fall down, that's fine. But if you're going for something that is standing tall, make sure it's a vertical line. So I'm going to add some lampposts that kind of go in front of my buildings here, so it's safer. So I'm actually going to start with the smaller ones in the back. So I'll just add, I'm just going to do a very simple light post. So I just need a short line and a circle on top, and that would be one light post. This would count as one object that's going in the distance for my depth. Then I'm gonna draw a little bit of a taller post with my circle. And then down here, I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'm gonna draw an even taller one. So they just progressively get a little taller as they come farther back. So now I have 3 lampposts. So this checks off 2 requirements in my picture. One is to have a lamppost or a tree, check. And then the other one is to have an object that repeats 3 times to show depth. So that means I have a large, a medium, and a small version of that. And you can draw these multiple times if you want to add more as well. You can absolutely do that. Also at this time, if you want to make any adjustments to your picture, so if you end up wanting to change your buildings, you don't want to have 2 houses and 3 taller buildings, you're welcome to change it and do just all single family homes, or if you want to do all apartment-y kind of buildings, you're totally welcome to make those kind of changes at this point. And then also don't forget that you can start erasing the lines you no longer need. So you don't need this orthogonal to connect to your building anymore, because I'm not going to add any more buildings. I can erase all of these lines back here because I don't need these. And you can always draw them back in if you need to, if you were going to make something else. Okay, so if you were someone who was kind of going for basic requirements and you didn't want to have to do too much, then you essentially have 2 of your 4 categories done already. And you can also think about what you want to add in your sky. So maybe I'm just going to add some clouds in here. It's a very cloudy day. And clouds are organic, so they all look different and different sizes, just wavy lines grouped together. And maybe I have a little crescent moon in the back. So it's nighttime. Okay, so that would be fine for that. And then if you want to add things like bushes or trees, you can, maybe the houses have some bushes in front. Things like that. You can always go back in and erase those extra details. Okay, so right now we're just going to keep adding more designs, and feel free to add additional things as you go. Remember that if your object is starting to get smaller back here, then so should your the object that you're drawing. But also think about the size of actual objects. So I know that trees can get really tall. They can grow taller than buildings if they need to. So this tree is going to be pretty tall. But then maybe I'll draw a smaller one back here. So it's farther away.